A politician who wants to get elected will tell the people what they want to hear, even if it is false. This is why so many people are disappointed with the governments, because the politicians told them things that were nice to hear, but they never happened. Unfortunately, the majority of people prefer not to listen to the truth if it does not benefit them immediately. So a politician who speaks the frank truth will not be listened to, because his message does not tickle the people's ears. Religious leaders have done the same. For example, the first century Christian congregation in Rome had the truth of the Bible, but later they wanted to make close friends with the Roman people who were not really interested in God. So to please them, they invented the Christmas celebration to mix their belief in Jesus Christ with the Romans' celebration of the rebirth of the Son. Jesus was not born on the 25th of December, but saying that he was would tickle the ears of the Romans and help to bring in more people into the Roman Church. It was a lie, but if the lie is pleasing to people, it does not matter. They will listen to it. People prefer what immediately benefits them rather than the truth, which will benefit them later. Today, religious organizations do the same. In recent years, equality of women and the empowerment of women, which also includes the dispowering and lowering of men, has become very popular in all countries, and the governments and media also promote these things and have even made them part of the law in the courts. So, to get more people to join them, some so-called Christian organizations have mixed the truth of the Bible with feminism. This tickles the ears of modern people who like those things. Although it is false that men are equal to women, and the Bible makes this clear, the idea of empowerment and even victory over men pleases some women who want immediate benefit for themselves and don't care about how this hurts fathers, brothers and sons. The religious organizations who do this do not care one bit about the loyal ones who do not like the mixing of lies with truth and want to hold true to what the Bible says. They don't care if they stumble those ones in their faith, as long as they make themselves more popular with Satan's world. This is what the Bible calls adultery. It is spiritual adultery because the anointed Christians are engaged to Jesus Christ, but they make close relationships with parts of Satan's world and promote their lies in order to glorify themselves and receive honor from humans. We all need to ask ourselves, have my ears been tickled? Eve's ears were tickled by Satan's lie that she could be equal to God, and so she listened and believed. Queen Jezebel listened to the prophets of Baal because their religion allowed her to do things that Jehovah does not allow. Modern feminists will listen to the mixing of feminist lies with the Bible because they think that it will empower women and lift them up. Feminist men give themselves a new idol to worship so that they can gratify themselves and forget that Jehovah is the only true God. Jehovah God is now testing the people of the earth, including the so-called Christians. This is what Jehovah said about the Israelites who formed relationships with nations that did not follow Jehovah's teachings. Because this nation has violated my covenant that I commanded their forefathers, and they have disobeyed me, I for my part will not drive out from before them even one of the nations that Joshua left behind when he died. This is to test whether Israel will keep Jehovah's ways by walking in it as their forefathers did. Judges chapter 2, verses 20 to 22. Jehovah does not prevent the tickling of ears. He allows it to happen to test his people. This is what 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 11 and 12 say. God lets a spirit of deception mislead them, so that they come to believe the lie, in order that they may all be judged, because they did not believe the truth, but took pleasure in unrighteousness. And 2 Timothy chapter 4 verses 3 and 4 say, they will not put up with the wholesome teaching, but according to their own desires, they will accumulate teachers for themselves to have their ears tickled. They will turn away from listening to the truth and give attention to false stories. Jehovah allows this as a test, but that does not mean that those speaking such lies will get away with what they are doing. They will be judged. So when you look at an artist's picture of Jesus kneeling down before two women, ask yourself, do I like this picture because the idea of Jesus the King being lower than me makes me feel superior and more powerful? Does it empower me to see the great King at his feet or at my feet? But then, please ask yourself this. Does the Bible really teach that Jesus knelt down before women? Or is this picture an invention of a religious organization who is trying to tickle my ears? Jehovites of Empire of Jehovah are not just determined to keep the truth of the Bible free from all forms of satanic propaganda, but we are ready to warn so-called Christians that they are having their ears tickled and are following false teachings. Below you will find a link to the picture of Jesus on his knees, produced by Jehovah's Witnesses. Why not print it out, and when you see Jehovah's Witnesses, present the picture to them and ask, does the Bible really teach that Jesus knelt before women? Is it correct to use a false depiction of Jesus to lower and humiliate the men in your organization and lift up and empower women who have a sympathy for feminism and a negative attitude about men? Together, we will expose and reprimand false Christians and warn them that they must rid themselves of all forms of apostasy before the end of this world comes. If they do not, they will be thrown into great tribulation, and not one of them will survive. But Jehovites will save themselves because they obediently and courageously warned the wicked to leave their wicked ways.